Liquid dosage form. Liquid dosage form is a pharmaceutical preparation obtained by dissolving the active ingredient in an aqueous or non-aqueous solvent, by suspending the active medication in a suitable media, or by incorporating the active medication in oil or a water phase. They are intended for a various route of administration, such as oral, parenteral, and into the body cavity. Advantage: faster absorption, palatable, best choice for children and the old person. Material should be tested for identity, strength, quality, and purity. Visual inspection should be clear and free from any perceived discoloration and cloudiness.
To have a clear visible test, you can put a white or black background.
Procedure: gently check and be sure that no air bubble. Second, observe for about 5 seconds in front of the white panel. Repeat the procedure in front of the black panel. Record the presence of any particle. Repeat the procedure for a further 19 containers. If one or more particles are found in more than one container, the preparation failed the test. For a reconstituted solution from powder for injection, the test failed if the particles are found in more than 2 containers. pH measurement. The measurement and the maintenance of the pH is also a very important step in the quality control testing. We have two methods. One is the simplest and the cheap is to dip a piece of a pH paper into the sample. Second, by using pH meter for a greater accuracy. Uniformity of mass. This test is applicable for liquid preparation for oral use supplied in a multi-dose container, except oral drop. Procedure: first, weigh individually 20 doses taken at random from one or more container with a measuring device. Second, determine the individual and the average masses. Criteria: not more than 2 of the individual mass deviate from the average mass by more than 10% and none deviate by more than 20%. Uniformity of contact. This test is applicable for a single dose preparation, suspension, powder, and granules, for a syrup, oral solution, and a single dose powder for oral drop with a content of active substance less than 2 mg or less than 2% of the total mass, except for a single dose suspension that contain more than one active substance. Procedure: assay 10 units individually using an appropriate analytical method. Criteria: the preparation complies with the test if not more than one individual content is outside the limit of 85 to 150% of average content, and the none is outside the limit of the 75 to 125% of the average content. The preparation failed to comply with the test more than 3 individual content are outside the limit and complies if not more than 3 or 30 are outside the limit.
Mass variation. Mass variation test is the test to determine the uniformity of dosage unit by mass variation. Method: first, accurately weight the amount of liquid that is removed from each of 10 individual containers in condition of normal use. Second, if necessary, compute the equivalent volume after determining the density. Third, calculate the active substance content in each container from the mass of product removed from the individual container and the result of the assay. Criteria: the requirement is met if the acceptance value of 10 dosage unit is less than or equal to 15%. If the acceptance value more than 15%, test the next 20 dosage unit and calculate the acceptance value. Uniformity of mass. Method: weight individually 20 units taken at random or for single dose preparation presented in individual container. The contents of 20 units and determine the average mass. Criteria: not more than 2 of the individual mass deviate by more than 10% from the average mass and none deviate by more than 20%. For single dose powder and granules for syrup, oral solution, oral suspension, and single dose powder for oral drops, according to PP, not more than 2 of the individual mass deviated from the average mass by more than the percentage deviation shown in table, and none deviate by more than twice that percentage. If the average mass less than 300, percentage deviation 10%. If the average mass 300 or more, percentage deviation 7.5%. Uniformity of volume. Consistent with IP, the average net volume of the contents of the tin container is not less than the labeled amount, and the net volume of the contents of any single container is not less than the percentage deviation as shown in table. Uniformity of weight. Method: select a sample of tin-filled container and remove any labeling. Clean and dry the outer surface of the container and weight each container. Remove quantitatively the contents from each container. If necessary, cut open the container and wash each empty container with a suitable solvent, taking care to ensure that the closure and other parts of the container are retained. Dry and again weight each empty container together with its part which may have been removed. The difference between the two weights is the net weight of the content of the container. The average net weight of the content of the tin container is not less than the labeled amount, and the net weight of the content of any single container is not less than the percentage deviation as shown in table. Specific gravity. Specific gravity, also called relative density, ratio of the density of a substance to that of a standard substance. The weight of liquid in air at 25 Celsius to that of an equal volume of water at the same temperature. Where a temperature is specified in the individual monograph, the specific gravity is the ratio of the weight of the liquid in air at the specified temperature to that of an equal volume of water at the same temperature. When the substance is solid at 25 Celsius, determine the specific gravity of the melted material at the temperature directed in the individual monograph, and refer to water at 25 Celsius, unless otherwise stated in the individual monograph. The density is defined as the mass of the unit volume of the substance at 25 Celsius, expressed in kilogram per cubic meter or gram per cubic centimeter. Where the density is known, mass can be converted to volume or volume converted to mass.
Okay, dose and uniformity of dose. Oral drops criteria. Put it a suitable graduated cylinder introduced by means of dropping device. The number of drops usually prescribed for one dose, or introduced by means of the measuring device, the usually prescribed quantity. The dropping speed doesn't exceed 2 drops per second. Where the liquid repeated addition, wait again and care on repeating the addition and waiting until a total of 10 mass are obtained. No single mass deviates by more than 10% from the average mass. The total of 10 masses doesn't differ by more than 15% from the nominal mass of 10 doses. If necessary, measure the total volume of 10 doses. The volume doesn't differ by more than 15% from the nominal volume of 10 doses. For the deliverable volume is tested to ensure oral liquid is dumped from original container. The dosage of a preparation prescribed on the drug label can be reached procedure. Discharge the container content into suitable tray. Container single dose, 5 seconds, multi-dose 10 minutes. Determine mass and calculate the volume by using density. Microbiological test. 2. Enumeration the total fiber aerobic count, which is sum of bacteria count and fungal count. Membrane filtration plate count method and most probable number method are used for determination of total fiber. Cough syrup. Viscosity more, but also be drinkable because it's easily to flow through the digestive tract. Rational viscometer used to evaluate the flow behavior of cough syrup. Here we have viscosity measurement. Viscosity measurement that is used for exhaler and syrup and is resistant to flowability and directly to stability. Suspension. The flow properties have profound influence on the manufacturing, during storage, and administration of drug. The flow properties depended on the viscosity. The viscosity can be measured by cup and pop viscometer or cone and plate viscometer. Its uniformity of reducibility test. Uniformity of the suspended drug dosage. It should be readily dispersed by shaking. Its point is the minimum because suspension is tilted in the storage. And also we have method rotated through 36 360 at 20 ram. The endpoint is taken when the inside of the base of the graduated cylinder is clear of sediment. Degree of flocculation is the ratio of sedimentation volume of the flocculated to the sedimented volume of the defloccated, and this is the law. The total volume of both flocculated and defloccated suspension are the same. Is more fundamental parameter than F, since it relates to the volume of flocculated sediment to the dot in the defloccated system. If the B value is nearer to 1, then the suspension doesn't represent the flocculated suspension. We have here emulsion, thermal stress of the drug substance can identify of degradation and product and is used to evaluation stability by high and low temperature in altering cycling method. First put it 600 and then 14. Viscosity of emulsion. If increased viscosity, fluctuation is decreased and the random movement decrease will also be difficult, leading to cramming. Due to this antagonist effect of optimum viscosity for good stability and viscosity can be measured by cup and bob viscometer. Phase separation is easily determined rate and degree of visually by using graduated cylinder, but is difficult when becoming fluctuation and coldness and cremation. So we use centrifugation. Droplet size is in fair relation to stability of emulsion if more than 1 micrometer measured by optical microscopy, because direct and reassuring measurement when it contains sub-micrometer.
Thank you for listening.